would be ashamed to drop the whole project now. And especially that, now that we have a publisher.
We?
Well, sure. Audrey's as responsible for this job as I am. And believe me, Steve, we're going to share in the proceeds, if there are any proceeds. Well, right now, we've got a publisher's advance of $1,500.
I'm sure it's more than a matter of money with Audrey.
Well, sure. But believe me, this has to be our book. I mean, I'm going to insist that she be treated as a collaborator. I was just wondering if I still have a collaborator.
Well, don't ask me, Phil. Ask Audrey.
But, you don't mind, do you?
Mind what?
Well, if I ask her to go on working with me.
Let me put it this way, Phil. If Audrey's reluctant to work on the book with you for whatever reason, I'm not going to press it. She can take it or leave it.
But you don't object.
If that's what she wants, no.
Well, thanks. That's great.
General Hospital is brought to you by Rolaids in handy roll and new family-size bottle. By Clairol, creators of the exciting natural look and beauty. And by the new Playtex girdle made with Lycra.
Now try this new way to accent your figure. Cross your heart, see? You're suddenly shapelier. Well, that's what this new Playtex Fashion Magic Cotton Bra does. It crosses your heart with stretch to lift and separate. You're suddenly shapelier. This cross your heart shaping is only on Playtex regular Fashion Magic bras and new padded styles. Cross your heart. You'll be shapelier, honestly. And here's news about girdles.
It's new, made with Lycra, too. The new Playtex girdle with hold-in power that won't wash out. Go ahead, wear it. Wash it, wear it. Wash it. The hold-in power just won't wash out. Still stretches like new. Clever of Playtex to do so much with light, lovely Lycra. Make a girdle with hold-in power that won't wash out. Playtex Lycra girdle, now on sale, $1 off.
Seventh floor, nurse's station. Yes, Dr. Bolton. Just let me make a note of it. Double the medication. For tonight only? All right. No, I won't, but the night nurse will. Yes, she'll let you know if there's any problem. Thank you.
Jessie, I'd like to talk to Dr. Weaver about Mrs. Zimmerman. You might send this file along to him. Have him call me as soon as he's had a chance to look at it.
Endocrinologist?
Well, I thought he might shed some light on her obesity problem. That's not her reason for being here. She has an ulcer as well, but we might be able to run some tests while she's in the hospital.
All right.
Thank you. Jessie, have you seen Audrey around?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have, Steve. She left the floor a few minutes ago.
Oh. Well, I'd like to see her as soon as she has some free time. No big hurry.
All right.
Jessie, I talked to Phil yesterday about Audrey's working on the book.
Well, she's still working with him, isn't she, Steve?
Well, I gather it's up in the air for the moment. That's why I want to talk to her.
Phil said she'd been such a big help.
Oh, yes, he wants her to work with him, all right. There's no doubt about that.
Audrey has reservations?
I don't know about Audrey. But I certainly have some.
Why?
Oh, a number of things, I guess. She's been working too hard. She's always been one to throw herself into her work, and right now she's doing too much.
Well, she seems to enjoy it.
Yes, and I want her to do whatever she wants to do.
Well, if she thought you disapproved, Steve, I'm sure she wouldn't want to do it.
Tell you the truth, Jessie, I'd rather she didn't.
All right, Steve, I'll tell her when I see her.
Thank you, Jesse.
Mrs. Brewer, Mr. Nichols had a terrible coughing spell.
Is he over it?
Finally.
What'd you do, Judy?
Well, I got him some water, patted his back, and tried to look calm.
Fine, fine. If he has another bad one, though, let me know, will you, or Dr. Hardy?
Yes, Mrs. Brewer.
Thank you.
I'll get that.
Thank you. Oh, Audrey, Steve was just looking for you.
Oh, well, I had to go out and get some notepaper for Mrs. Simpson. I've forgotten. I've promised. I'm helping her write thank you notes today.
Oh. Audrey, aren't you going to help fill in the book anymore?
Well, I had so much to do. I really don't know, Jessie.
I'm terribly sorry. It's none of my business.
No, please. It isn't that. You know I don't mind talking to you. Well, it just hasn't turned out the way I expected it would.
Well, last time we talked, you seemed to be enjoying it.
Yes, I was. I think maybe it was taking up too much of my time.
Well, I thought your hours here were supposed to be more or less flexible.
Yes, they are supposed to be. Oh, Jessie, the whole thing has sort of snowballed. We got so excited. There was so much material. One thing led to another. Well, I just didn't realize how much time I was devoting to it.
Well, I can understand that.
Jessie, I really do want to do it.
It just seemed to me such a wonderful thing for both of you, if you can keep it in its proper perspective.
Yes.
I guess that's not always so easy to do, is it?
Well, the trouble with me is I get so carried away, and it is exciting. I mean, it is a project that I really do believe in.
Are you still undecided?
Jessie, I don't know what to do.
I guess you're going to do what's right for you.
But I don't want to disappoint Phil. It's so ironic. I spent so much time and energy trying to protect him from disappointment. And here I am, about to disappoint him myself.
Well, in the long run, I think you have to do what's best for you. There are times when you can't protect somebody else, even if you want to. I'm sure Phil will understand.
Jessie, I don't want to stop working on the book. But I mustn't get too involved.
Do you have to?
Well, I didn't think so at first. In fact, I was determined not to get involved. Well, I'd better go and see Steve. Oh, Jessie, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have bothered you with all of this.
No, Audrey, I'm very glad we talked. I know you pretty well, and Steve, and I certainly know Phil. I think maybe I identify with what you're going through.
Maybe so. Well, I'll see Steve as soon as I deliver this notepaper to Mrs. Simpson.
We'll return to General Hospital in just a moment.
This is how it starts. Something happens to upset you. Something happens to make you tense up, cause nerves to snap. And with each mounting pressure, excess acid may start to flow in your stomach. First a drop, then another, and another, and another. Result, acid indigestion, heartburn, that burning sensation. That's why wherever you go, always carry Rolaids, one of the most effective medications known for acid relief. Only Rolaids contains this exclusive buffering compound. Rolaids breaks into thousands of tiny particles. Each particle consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. Helps control the steady acid drip. By the time Rolaids is back in your pocket, you're on your way to soothing relief. Reach for handy, convenient Rolaids. Rolaids consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid.
The thin gray line.
Before you're aware, it's there. First one, then another, and another. And suddenly the bloom seems gone. Don't let the thin gray line sneak into your young life. With 5-Minute Color, you can shampoo in just enough lasting young color to blend away gray, to keep your hair as bright and as young as you are. 5-Minute Color by Clairol.
I'm really just a mild-mannered dusting mitt. But when I'm sprayed with Endust, I turn into a... dust magnet! See what I mean? Any cloth with Endust picks up dust like a magnet. And it's just wonderful. No wax either. Use it anywhere. Spray Endust on your dust mopper cloth. It gives them a magnetic personality.
Dr. Prentice. Is Mrs. Brewer here?
Just a minute, please.
Thank you, Judy. John, I thought I heard your voice.
Hello, Jessie. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you. And what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be running around town yet.
Well, I've been a very good patient. Though I must admit it was more fun when you were my nurse. I took a taxi and then the elevator, and I haven't overexerted a bit. Not a bit.
That's very good.
Do you suppose there's someplace we could go to sit down for a minute?
Of course there is. Sunroom all right?
Fine.
Excuse me. Judy, I'll be in the sunroom with Dr. Prentice if you want me.
Yes, Mrs. Brewer.
I'm so sorry I missed your call. Lucille left me a note.
It gave me a good excuse to come over here.
Thank you. So, how are you?
How do I look?
You look wonderful.
That's how I am.
That's very good, but I think we better sit down anyway, huh?
Yeah, right. Oh, Jessie. You'll never know what a lift it is just to see you.
I've missed you.
Hmm?
Well, you're my favorite patient.
Good.
How's Polly?
I've got a problem. I wouldn't involve you, except I don't know what to do.
Polly, hmm?
Yes, Polly. Just to listen to her these days, well, she's not my Polly. I don't know. She's a different person.
What do you mean?
Well, she went on a ski trip, you know, during the holidays.
With the married art teacher?
Yes, this Bob Chandler. Now she's back, and, well, she's more in love with him than ever, it seems.
Oh, dear, that's what you were afraid of, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh, she says that he was very nice to her, that he didn't try to take advantage of her at any time. She's grateful for that.
Well, I suppose that's in his favor.
I suppose so. But he's made her feel that she has a lot of outdated ideas about marriage.
What outdated ideas?
Now, according to Chandler, the usual marriage is like a prison. It's stifling, he says. It's also boring. He and his wife apparently have made some arrangement whereby she does what she wants to, he does what he wants to, no questions asked. And this, they feel, is the advanced view of marriage.
Oh, that's very advanced, yes.
And Polly's more than half convinced that he's right. Jessie, I'm scared stiff.
Mm. Well, how can I help?
I don't know, Jessie. I don't know what to do myself.
I'd like to talk to Polly, but I can't wade in and do that, because if I do, she'll resent it, and I wouldn't blame her.
But she fell for you, Jessie. It seems to be a trait of our family. It's the only thing I understand about her these days. You could participate in some of our family doings, such as they are.
I'd like that.
You know, come have dinner with us whenever you like.
I'd love to.
Huh?
But I still have confidence in Polly. Or she may be easily influenced. I think most young people are. But I think she's a very strong girl. That's what counts in the long run, and I think Polly is.
I don't know, Jessie. I just don't know her anymore.
Hi.
Hi. I was hoping you'd be back this semester.
Well, you gave me a good grade on my charcoal sketch.
You earned it. Now, that was the first honest piece of work you've done in this class. I mean, it wasn't imitation Picasso or anything. It was pure Prentice, and I like that. It's like I always said, just be yourself. It shows in a lot of ways, even in your art.
It's not always easy to be yourself.
Of course not. First, you got to find out who you are. And that's tough.
It's so true.
How's your father?
He's much better.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Bob, I tried to explain him about...
Me?
He really doesn't understand. He has these old-fashioned ideas about... well, about marriage.
It's no use, Polly. Your father will never get it. He looks at life in an entirely different light. But what does he know about love? He hasn't been in love or been married for a long time. He's probably forgotten what it's like.
Guess you're right.
Hey, now don't worry. Look what we've got going for us.
But, Bob, how am I supposed to know what's right like you?
I'll teach you.
Bob, don't you see? Daddy's the only one I've ever believed in, and he's so different from you.
Well, that's true. But it's not too late, and you're learning. You're learning how to live, like that ski trip. Fun?
Oh, wonderful.
Every day should be like that, only better.
Oh, Bob.
Sure. Well, maybe not for most people, but if you play it right and you don't get stuck in the ruts and roadblocks somebody else put up, you can be yourself. You can live life the way it's meant to be. Free.
Sounds wonderful.
You're coming along just fine. I've noticed it in a lot of ways. You know that charcoal drawing you did? That's just one of the signs. Of course, you're a little bit slow, but we've got time. Plenty of time, and we've got a lot going for us.
We'll return to General Hospital in just a moment.
This is what a woman lives for others. And you know how much fun it can be to be needed. You know, too, how all the fun can go out of your life when the tensions of a woman's day cause an exhausting headache to interfere. But now you have special help. It's called COPE. C-O-P-E. COPE is for women. Only COPE has the plus action to relieve a woman's nervous tension headache. This plus action of COPE makes it totally different. COPE immediately goes to work to relieve headache pain, and only COPE adds the plus of a gentle relaxer to ease the tension that so often accompanies the pain. Many pills are sold for everybody's headaches, but only COPE has the plus action you want. COPE understands women. When a tension headache threatens to get you down, you'll be back in the running with COPE. You'll know it, and so will they.
When your emotions rise. When your emotions rise to a peak. So does perspiration. That's when you need deodorant protection that won't wear out. That's the protection you get from new Arid Spray. It won't wear out all day. Arid is the most effective spray deodorant you can buy. So if you want to be sure of yourself, even at the peak of emotion, at the peak of perspiration, make sure your spray deodorant is the one that won't wear out all day. New Arid Spray Deodorant. It won't wear out.
fine, honey. I was looking for you earlier.
That's what Jessie said. Is there something you wanted from me?
Well, now, do I need an excuse?
No, of course you don't.
Actually, there was a reason. Phil's been looking for you.
Oh?
Darling, have you been trying to avoid Phil?
Why should I try to avoid Phil?
I don't have any idea, but he's never had any trouble finding you before.
Well, I've had so many odds and ends and errands. And
Yes, I know.
I haven't had time to work on the book. I haven't been around much at all.
Well, anyway, he was asking whether you still wanted to work on the book.
He asked you that?
Yes. Do you still want to?
Oh, darling, I don't know. I hate to disappoint him. I hate to go back on something I've agreed to do.
Audrey, I just want to make sure that you don't feel trapped by this book project. You're committed in no way.
Yes, you're right.
And you shouldn't do it, darling, unless you really want to.
But, darling, I do think it's such a marvelous idea. Well, actually, it was your idea, and then that advance from the publisher. It all looked so promising.
What does that have to do with you, Audrey?
Nothing, really.
You know, if Phil wants to tackle a book, he shouldn't rely on you to pull him through. It's his book. If he wants to do it, he's perfectly capable, isn't he?
I had thought I was a little useful.
Well, you were useful. As a matter of fact, he said you were essential.
He told you that?
Yes, but I don't want the fact that you might be flattered to make you do something you don't want to do.
No, of course not.
There's one thing that's not clear in my mind, though.
What, dear?
In the beginning, you were very enthusiastic about the book. You didn't mind working. You even spent your spare hours helping Phil. Why the sudden change?
I don't know.
Has Phil done something to offend you?
No, of course he hasn't.
Well, then I guess I don't have an explanation for my question, do I?
But, darling, I don't want to spend my whole life working on Phil's book, even though I do think it's a worthwhile project.
Yes?
Dr. Hardy, Dr. Pinkham would like some help reading an electrocardiogram.
Can't he do it?
Well, it seems this is the first one he's encountered since medical school, so if it's convenient...
All right, Jessie. Where is he? Tell him I'll be right there. Don't leave, darling. It shouldn't take too long.
All right.
Does Steve want you to quit working on this?
No. He says it's up to me.
Oh, you want to quit?
Well, I just think it would be better if I did.
Why? You're not leveling with me, Audrey.
Oh, Phil, yes, I am.
Now, look, I don't care what you do, but you better come clean with me. Why do you want to quit working on this book? Why? Now, I've got to know.
I'm afraid I'm getting too involved in your affairs. I feel
That's
like a
ridiculous.
fool.
That's ridiculous. You know you don't mean that, and I know it, too.
Phil, please, this has to stop. It has to.
Now, look, you just can't walk out on me now. No, I won't let you.
Phil, please, you're hurting me.
Am I?
Sorry, darling.
Oh, that's all right. Was it an emergency?
No, just an intern wanting help with an EKG.
You know, I've been thinking about working on Phil's book.
Have you?
I see no reason why he can't do it himself.
You mean you're through with it? Really through?
Yes.
Do you want me to tell him?
No. I'd better tell him myself. I hate a disappointment. But I have definitely made up my mind.
Well, good.
Oh, darling, I feel so good not having to have to do it again.
Audrey, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Well, it isn't. I feel like I've turned over a new leaf.
You know what I like about this?
What?
You made up your mind yourself.
Hey, Dad, the house smells funny. Yeah, like it's got bad breath. Yeah.
I know. Housetosis.
Does your house have housetosis? Use Wizard Room Deodorizer. It's like a breath of fresh air. Cures housetosis fast. Use Wizard every day and make your house a pleasant, happy home. Wizard. It's like a breath of fresh air. Cures housetosis fast.
Painful corns? Use Free Zone. Just drop on Free Zone, lift off corns. You see, corns grow above and below the skin line. Razors and pads work only above. But continued as directed, Liquid Free Zone loosens corns below the skin line, so corns lift off in just days. Pain is gone, corn is gone. Drop on Free Zone. Lift off corns.
General Hospital was brought to you by Wizard Room Deodorizer. By Cope, relieves women's everyday headaches. And by new Arid Spray Deodorant, to be sure. This is Ed Chandler inviting you to tune in tomorrow and every weekday for General Hospital.